All right. Here we are. The last dungeon, as it was. 2020 Pantheon Rise of the Fallen recap. We are so excited tonight. Um, and first things first, the advisor pledge. So this is an alpha pledge. For those of you that may not know, it's a $300 pledge. As long as you have not won a Pantheon Plus pledge before, you are eligible to win this pledge, and you can add it to the pledge that you already have. So everybody needs to get in there and do that. You just simply message Therek. He puts your name in a random generator, and then at the end of the stream, we'll do that drawing. So very exciting.
Yeah. It's always fun to do giveaways.
All right, so let's go around the room. Let's introduce everybody. First of all, the man that needs no introduction. He works for VR. He's the big deal in the room tonight. It is the Bear Lover Minus.
Hey everybody, really excited to be here. Fun to sort of be back with the crew here, and it's not like any of us have lost touch with one another. I think we've all talked very recently, but it is fun to be here. I thank you a lot for inviting me, and just like I said, happy to be here.
Next, we have the Puppet Master, the man who does puppet videos and makes Choose Your Own Adventures, Mr. Nathan Napalm.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here.
And Pantheon's first fan, the Baz Flash maker, the owner of the Library of Pantheon, which I used to get ready for this show, by the way. So very exciting.
Wow,
very
nice
useful. Mr. Bazgrim.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
And of course, my trusty quest reader and lore guide.
Quest reader, lore guide, explainer of all lore-related things.
Very, very true. The Ultimate Ranger, Therek.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I love these these sort of community matters shows that we've done in the past, and it's fun to get everybody together. I'm a big believer in sort of end of the year, looking back, looking forward kind of stuff. Yeah, let's have a good time. Let's talk it out and have some fun.
Nice. Now, of course, I'm Draq. I'm your resident wizard. I am all about all things fireballs and blowing things up and being DPS in the back as your glass cannon. So we're very excited for the show tonight. This is a recap show, so we're going to go over a whole bunch of what happened this year in 2021. So I kind of wanted to start it out, and I have basically what I've done is I've reached out to all the content creators on the show, and we've combined all our stats together to give us big numbers, which I love big numbers. So,
Really, a wizard that likes big numbers? I've never heard of that.
Dude, I'm ready to crit on these big numbers right now.
Well, easy now.
Yeah, hold on now.
It's really early.
What about? I thought crits were removed, Draq. I think you're making up for lack of crits.
Maybe on Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, but not on this show. So, for Twitch stats, combined between us and Bazgrim, we have 2,200 followers. Nathan's just on YouTube. So, for YouTube followers total, between all the content creators here, we have just barely under 20,000 YouTube followers, which is pretty cool. On the views, there are, between us all, there's over 1 million views. Watch hours, 100,000 hours of watching the videos between us. So that's a lot of watching Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. And granted, not every single piece of content we do is Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, but I would wager to say that probably 95% of all the content we do, we at least talk about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
Yeah.
Was that just this year, or was that like all time?
This is just this year. Yep, just this year. So we all had big projects this year. I wanted to highlight some statistics from some of those. I'm sure we'll talk about them more in detail. So the Pantheon Plus website, we have articles on the website, and we've been really pushing that this year. So we have 220 registered users on that comment on that, and we released a little under 100 articles this year alone. And we had about 320 unique visitors every day, which is pretty cool. We did 46 rewinds, 24 plus profiles, and 12 Pantheon plus U's. Bazgrim, he did 11 pre-show developer watches and 1 post developer watch.
Which I'm gonna say I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
It
a
was
lot.
cool. Yeah, I agree.
That was fun actually. I'm seriously considering making that more of a regular thing because it was kind of an accident, but a lot of people seem to like it.
It's just
That's
a
how
matter
some
of
of the
whether
greatest
you can get
things
people.
are invented.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's just a matter of whether you can get people to hold off on watching it until you see it and avoid spoilers. That's
honestly the hardest part is going to be me not spoiling it for myself and having to wait. Like that's really the main thing. That's kind of like that I'm hesitant about is like, what if there, I assume one of these streams, there's going to be some like massive news that I just can't avoid, So it's going to be tough to like keep myself fresh for it. It's going to be a struggle.
Yeah. Imagine it would be.
Yes. Bazgrim also did 21 Baz flashes this year, 60 seconds of the most up-to-date Pantheon news. And of course, the big one is he launched the Library of Pantheon, which in a little less than 2 months has already had a little under 3,000 visitors, which
that's awesome.
And again, as I said, I used it to prepare for this show because I needed some information, so I went there and found it. It's super easy. Mr. Nathan Napalm, he has all by himself almost 10,000 YouTube followers. He's like right there.
Yeah, I need 8 more.
Yeah, so
go right now.
If you don't follow Nathan,
put the link in there. Let's get 8 people to subscribe.
Yeah, Desmond's our mod for tonight.
People.
Desmond, throw his link in there. Go follow Nathan tonight if you don't already. We need to get him to 10,000. And he also produced his gargantuan epic choose your own D&D puppet adventure. It was amazing.
Lots of Pantheon hidden jokes in there too.
There was
Pantheon and Pantheon content creator jokes aplenty.
Yes.
I like that. I felt like my character was pretty strong and important in that.
Yeah, well, listen. You went to Visionary Realms. I lost a friend as a content. I didn't lose a friend, but as a content creator, I lost a content creator friend. And so, I was a little sentimental when making that. So, yeah, the rogue's totally OP, just like he is in Pantheon.
Nerf the rogue. Nerf him.
When we played that night, Draq, you and I on stream, I that was one of the funnest things we've done on stream. We've done a lot of stuff on stream, I have to say. So that was such an incredible project. Nathan.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. That was so unique. I had never seen of anything like that. And I was always like a fan of the choose your own adventure, like the old school books, like from I don't even know, from like the 80s or something, maybe even older than that. But I always really like those. So to kind of meld that with YouTube, which obviously I'm a big fan of, and it just kind of bringing it into that new age, I thought that was really creative.
Yeah, and like he made like 650 videos to make that thing work. So an insane amount of work.
So Nathan, in the future, I mean, when Pantheon's out, do you get a team together that will record, get into that first pack in the dungeon? What do you do? And have different recordings of someone running away?
I thought of that. I thought about like get some people together and we just do the dungeon in many different ways and then use the footage to like choose your own adventure. The only problem I can see with that is that Pantheon's not like a so easy that things would go the way we intend them to go.
Yeah.
You just write it in. Just write it in.
You can't enter DM mode and save yourself. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe if I keep my relationship with Midas going, he can give me God mode.
Oh, now the possibilities are coming out.
Only if he gets it himself. That's what I've learned about Midas. He will give it to you as long as he has it as well.
Wait, Draq, do we have a little counter in the corner that just shows how many times Midas might be fired tonight?
I forgot to include that. I'm so sorry. I forgot to.
Did they just say Midas is going to give Nathan God mode? I didn't.
That's what I heard.
Oh boy.
Only for advertising purposes, of course. Of course.
Well, that was the stats that I had compiled. So I thought maybe just to kind of open it up.
Wait a minute. You forgot one stat that I really was looking forward to hearing.
Oh, okay.
How many times in 2021 did Therek say he doesn't care about lore?
Oh, that was twice. We got him on video twice.
Okay.
You know what?
There may have been some creative editing in that. So.
Yeah, creative editing is right. That wasn't me. That was a doppelganger. That was somebody else on stream.
It's a deep fake.
It's a deep fake.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fake news. So,
Fake news.
Yeah,
lore is important. Love lore. Please.
Therek's on damage control now.
I am. I'm like seriously image control, image repair. Yeah,
I told him earlier. I said I feel like I need to up my faction with Therek now that I've kind of put that out there.
Yeah,
it's those stupid shorts. They're so easy.
Yeah, we started doing shorts, and Therek's addicted to them, or we're both addicted to them now. So it's super fun.
Yeah.
All right, so
they're very good.
Yeah, I feel like I've talked a lot, so I want to hear for you guys, and you can cover the same things that I've covered because I just kind of hit the stats. But so, what has kind of been your biggest accomplishments for 2021?
Well, you mentioned the rewind, Draq, and I'll just tag on that because I know you didn't have the audio only stats to go with. Those are just the YouTube stats. But I do want to mention on the audio side of things. So that's the downloads that are just through the podcast platform, Spotify, iTunes, that kind of thing. We had 8,926 audio downloads this year, which is amazing. And we've published 83 episodes in total. So just the fact that, those are the kind of numbers. And it's funny because the podcast site, the podcast host we have shows us like way more stats, like devices and the types of devices people are using to listen on and whatnot. But it's kind of crazy. But, I can't talk about the rewind without talking about what was probably the biggest accomplishment or our biggest addition to the rewind this year or change for the rewind was bringing Desrin on, and Desrin's modding in chat tonight. So I have to start by mentioning Desrin, and he's been a huge part of when you got hired by VR and we had to keep the rewind going. It was impossible to replace you, but in some small way, Desrin has managed to bring the show to. We haven't lost any momentum, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is it's been amazing having him as a co-host. He's one of the smartest guys, one of the most experienced MMO players I've ever met. He's insightful. Everything when he brings topics to the show and the discussions he brings are, I don't know how he comes up with it. It's funny too, because we sort of changed the format of the show, whereas Minus, you used to do the VR news and notes and I did the community discussion. Well, I handed that off to Desrin because that's much harder. So I was like, you take this, I'm doing the VR news and notes and I'll take that. So, and he's taken the ball and run with it. So I just can't thank him enough, and wanted to get that out there right off the hop. So,
and I want to say something real quick about Desrin while we're on the subject. He's a really fun guy to group with. He's a hoot, you might say. He's a fun guy because he understands MMOs and he's fun. And like if you need to get serious, he can get serious and you can get some stuff done. But when you're just having fun, he just has fun. And there's like however it's going in the group, he falls right into just whatever's going on, and he's a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah,
well,
he's
he
a
must
smooth
not play
operator.
a rogue. If you're in
no, he's not a rogue. He's a druid. He's a druid at heart.
So positioning doesn't matter. So that's why him and Nathan get along.
That's it.
That's good.
Yeah, he just has to look at the bars and see if they're falling, and that's all he has to do.
What about you, Nathan?
2021 or we're talking about personally? Is that what we're like?
Just big accomplishments for 2021.
I would just say, honestly, when I get those 8 subscribers tonight and I get to 10K, like that's a pretty big deal for me.
Yes.
I've been waiting for that. Like that was my goal. Like when I started YouTube, like I just want to get to 10K. as fast as possible because that's what all the experts say. You get 10K and you just roll from there, and etc. So that's been a goal of mine for a really long time. It's just a big milestone. Honestly, though, realistically, getting the Choose Your Own Adventure done really was the craziest thing I did this year. That was absolutely wild and a ton of fun, man. Crawling through, we went out and found real caves and I crawled back in them. We set up lighting in them so it looked good. That was just overall. Taught my kids how to be puppeteers. Taught my wife how to be a camera woman. And all summer. I mean, from the time, because I live in Wisconsin, so from the time the snow melted, which is like June, till I released it, which was September. It was just every literal second was either filming or editing, and I got it done in a few months there, and that's pretty impressive. That many videos with it's fairly, in my opinion, it's fairly well edited, especially considering the length. So I'm pretty proud of that. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but I'm still glad I did.
I can't imagine the amount of work that went into that thing. Like, holy moly! Like, I played it through twice and did completely different stories.
Well, I'll tell everybody a secret real quick. If you have a big project going, I'm telling you what, and I'm dead serious. You can limit yourself down to 3 or 4 hours of sleep and be fine. Your body adjusts to it, and you're fine. And that gives you a ton of extra time. You can use that for playing MMOs, for whatever you want. Like, the human body can go a long time with 3, 4 hours of sleep a day.
Dude, one of my favorite quotes ever is "Sleep when you're dead, man."
Yeah, sleep when you're dead, man.
Train them if you don't like them.
That's it. We'll get plenty of it. Hey, you'll be dead longer than you were alive. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you have plenty of time.
That's funny.
Train them if you don't like them.
Mr. Bazgrim.
Well, I got married in 2021, so that's a big accomplishment.
Very important that you say that first, Baz. Before
Right?
any Pantheon stuff. You're good. You're in the clear.
That's smart.
Now that we got that out of the way.
Train them.
I mean, it'd have to be the library Pantheon. Obviously, that almost half of the entire year was spent working on that. It took about 5 months. And again, it was not, and that wasn't even just me. It would not have happened at all if I did not have help from some very talented handful of people in the community that all just kind of rallied together to make it happen. But that was something the library is something that I had been kind of wanting to do for quite a while. And I can relate to a lot of what you're saying, Nate, as far as just that grind of when you have like a massive project that, and we felt a sense of like urgency to get it out there in the hands of the community so that the community could benefit from that information. So we grinded pretty hard for those 5 months, and it's just very satisfying to have it actually done and to see people enjoying it and using it the way that it's meant to be used, and so
train them if you don't like
just very, very proud of that and really looking forward to taking it even further next year.
Train them if you don't like them.
Very cool. Well, Minus,
awesome.
Nothing exciting happened for you this year, so I don't even know what you're going to talk about.
Train them if you don't like them.
I mean, the obvious go-to is the opportunity that I was given to be a part of VR and try to work on what I was hired to do, right? Create content, clear up communication. So it's exciting. I think though, when I look back, like I could easily say just getting on the team, but to me, it's been constantly trying to make sure I earn my place, right? Like a lot of great creators could have been hired. There's probably a lot of people with studios and maybe a lot more experience than me. So when I got the ability to step in the door, it was really like, okay, I need to earn this spot, like not just to the community, right? Who knows me and I have something to fulfill for them, but also to the people on the team, to come in and be respectful and to earn respect and just, do what I can to try to take things off of people's plates, because that's been a lot of what I've done. And I think that there's a million things I could talk about that were exciting that I got to do. But I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, have at me. You guys know the rules when Minus is on. You can roast me all you want if I'm wrong, and you guys can feel free too. But I think, it's been about 6
Train
months.
them if you don't like them.
And the first 6 months of the year, there was a lot of discussion around communication, scheduling,
Train them if you don't like them.
The depth of content that was put out there. And I truly believe in my heart, and it's not just because of
Train
me,
them if
trust
you
me,
don't
it's
like
the whole comms team and everybody who works with me on the stream setup and stuff like that. But I think that in the last 6 months of the year, it was
Train
a
them
much
if you don't like
different message on the communication piece. I think that it was something that over the last few years as a part of Pantheon Plus, and I know that all
Train
of
them if
you
you don't
at
like
one point have said that, you wish it was easier to find things or you wish there was better communication. I think that in the last 6 months, I haven't heard that narrative as much. I think that is a huge testament to them letting me run with the ball a little bit on scheduling and how we prepare now for things. And I am a little annoying. I'm just going to be completely honest. You guys all know that. When it's crunch time and there's dates coming, I might be the one pinging people multiple times. Hey, we still good on that? Any help you need? But the team's amazing, and the biggest part of it is just them allowing me to trust me with that. One of the cool things that we do now is I create a video run through of our streams, which is really neat. So I'll gather up all the different things that we're doing, and I'll run and edit and engineer the stream as I'm talking over it. Okay, here's where we're going to talk about this, and we don't really script anymore, which is really cool. So I think when you're watching these streams, I hope that it's felt a little bit more natural, because what we do is I create this walkthrough after we outline it. And then I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to talk about this. You can hit on this. And it's kind of just these little bullet points to kind of set up the streams these days. And I think that it just creates, again, more of a natural feel. And I think that you can tell everyone's having a little bit more fun. It's not as stressful. And geez, I'm going to be honest, I loved coming out in front of the camera for the AMA. I loved it. But I really enjoy engineering in the background. And it allows me to really put a ton of content into a stream. A couple of the streams we did, when you count videos that were created, pieces of artwork, all the different things we showed, like the amount of assets to a stream has increased a lot. So, that's my biggest thing is at least if we didn't cure the narrative of communication, we took a really good chunk out of the common thread of people saying communication is better. I need to be able to find things better. I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that we did a good job of that. So
Train them if
Well,
you
I
don't
mean,
like
I would say this. I mean, nobody, I think, was better positioned to go into the role that you're in from where you came from. I mean, nobody knew. I don't think anybody was as connected or had their ear to the ground, so to speak, as well as you did when it comes to, what the community was looking for, what would resonate with the community, just doing what you do, and your nature and your natural inclination, I think fits so well. I want to give a mention to and I'm assuming this is you, but the weekly the content calendar for the month, in terms of putting that out there, if we're talking about communication and things from
those.
VR. As doing a weekly podcast is a difficult thing, but having that, so we know what's every week holds, and we can sort of plan our content a little more than 1 week ahead of time, has been amazing. So I wanted to give a mention to that, because I think that's from a content creation standpoint, that's gold. And it goes back to what you were saying. This what the community needs, I think.
And we took.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't sort of throw out. Yes, it is my role to kind of lay out the schedule, and then we cover it. Is it going to work? And we've been pretty consistent to where it starts with the VIP roundtable release, then it goes to live stream, and it goes to content creation, and then the VIP recording. We've been very consistent with that, but I want to make sure people know that when we're releasing schedules ahead of time, it also gives us the opportunity to say, well, what if we move the live stream back a couple weeks? Because maybe we're going to be able to do something better. So, but in my opinion, I think in the past that maybe when that happened, you kind of found out the week before and you were all excited to watch it, and you say, now it's pushed. But doing it and saying, hey, first week or last week of every month, we're going to put out a content schedule, we can kind of prepare everybody for this is how it's going to flow out. But I definitely want to say that, when it comes to the physical image creation, that's Ronik who puts that together. So we'll put it together in a document. We outline everything. We have some meetings on it. And then Ronik will put that image together. So I do want to give him a big shout out for that. So
Yeah, you mentioned the like the amount of assets that are particularly in like the monthly live streams as well. That is noticeable to me even recently. Like as I've been putting together like a video that's a retrospective for 2021 Pantheon's development and stuff, and I noticed how much easier it is to just find footage to include in a video, because I like to show examples of the things that I'm talking about throughout a video, and I found it just so much like there I have a huge folder of just footage and different clips and stuff about a much wider variety of things, and so it's really I found it a lot easier to put those videos together without just reusing the same footage over and over and over again.
Yeah, we definitely want to try to make new when we're putting these streams together. We haven't reused a whole lot. It's definitely us trying to make sure we're putting new things out there, showing progress. Joppa says consistently that he wants to show, not tell. And sometimes we have to tell. I mean, it's just what it is. When it's not ready, we have to tell. But we've really been trying to focus on, again, directly from Chris, that show people. And the more we can do it with images, with concept art even. I think we've shown a lot more concept art recently than we've shown in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's just, whether it's in-game, in-engine, concept art, whatever it can be, we're just really trying to show more assets for sure. And Baz, I hope you enjoy the chaptering. Hopefully that helps you a little bit in the
Yes, actually. That's another thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. That does also make it yeah, and the rest of the library team thanks you for that as well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. We were talking about the more organic, where it's less scripted live. And I'll tell you something that the community benefits big time from that is that Joppa sometimes says some things that probably wasn't, pre-authorized, and so we get a little taste of the beans sometimes. And otherwise, you can tell when those things happen too. That it was like, yeah, probably he wasn't actually. Sometimes he'll say it. Sometimes actually he'll be like, well, I'm not going to go into any more detail. Really wasn't ready to talk about that yet, but so I think that's good, and plus it feels good, right? And I was watching the comments when you're talking about that. There was a lot of people agreeing, like we feel like we're getting to know them, and these are humans, right? These aren't just robots that work at Visionary Realms, right? And feeling like we know these people, I think is super important, because everybody at this point, either you like to watch an MMO get developed, or sorry, that it's a rough life for you. Then you have to enjoy it at this point, right? So humans, and we're seeing them be humans live. That's super important, I think.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Points. So for myself, for this year, I can relate to Minus because when he went to be with VR, I got handed the Twitch stream. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like,
and what was the first game he decided to play live? Conan.
Talk about this. We got to talk about this.
Oh, jeez. So stressful.
We were playing Conan the Barbarian. And if you've never played Conan before, there is some adult themes running through Conan
that you can't tell to go away.
Yeah, that we thought we could disappear, but when we got on the stream, we found out we couldn't. And so it was just it's been an amazing year for me, just in terms of like growing. I just like I didn't know this was where I was headed, and like just doing all the streaming stuff. It's been so much fun, and I feel like I am like Minus said, I'm the new guy on the team. You guys are all the seasoned veterans, and I'm just kind of like, yay! And it's so much fun for me. I'm having a total blast. Some of the things that I wanted to mention were, I love the dungeon group draft. That's my absolute favorite thing. I love organizing that thing. We had so much fun. Bazgrim was first pick this year, so that was super cool.
He's all confident. He's nodding. He knows it. I was the first pick. I'll just to remind you.
Yes. Nathan and I had a ton of fun with the no sleep till 50. I know that's not specifically Pantheon.
Wait, no sleep?
A little sleep.
Whoa.
Little sleep
till 50.
We took a nap. We took a mild nap.
Well, we were confident in the no sleep, and then I got into day 3.
You know how it is in EverQuest, right? Like
That's
some things
insane.
happened. Some things happened against our plan, and we had to take a little nap.
It's okay. A little sleep till 50 just doesn't have quite the same ring to
doesn't-
it.
Yeah,
doesn't have the
exactly.
same
Exactly.
You're not gonna draw the people in with that.
No.
Hey, I learned something I didn't know, because if you just look it up on YouTube's rules and stuff, it says it doesn't matter the length of a stream. It might take longer, but that's not true, because that was like a 39 or 37 hour stream. It didn't. It to this day, it is not
It's
up to
still
watch.
sitting there processing. It's all circle.
It's either still processing or it ain't going up. I'm pretty sure it's not going up.
That's awesome. And the last thing, I want to mention our Pantheon Plus writers. They have done such an amazing job this year. We have Crow Singer, we have Wizen, and we have Ben and I know there were some other community members that did some one-off ones, but those guys have been here all year long, and they've been just like epic novels that they've been just like producing, and it's been just amazing. And Crow, with her art, she's gone into art and developing her own art style, and so that for me is just really cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that. They well-deserved mention, because they're sort of behind the scenes. They're not on streams. They're not on you don't hear their voices, but they are the ones that are contributing their talents to Pantheon.plus. And
So I'll give some. This isn't in-game or development beans, but I'll give some beans here.
Uh-oh.
So,
Oh.
Crusader, if you're out there, or if you catch this at another time, some of your artwork may have made it into the VR communication. And Jared Pullen himself was very impressed. Loved seeing your stuff, and just really the whole team was very complimentary. Loved seeing your progress, and they just were really commenting on the atmosphere and some of the different stuff that they saw. So big props. The team loved it, and it's same with all you guys. Like, the VR team reads everything they can. They watch everything they can. New content creators, if you're out there kind of just lurking or chatting there, a lot of the newer content creators, we've seen that stuff, and you're starting to see that, Kilson's out there promoting some of those new content creators, and I just love it. So keep it going.
Awesome.
It's fuel. It really is fuel. It makes the team feel really good when they see this kind of stuff. So great job.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Yeah, it's very cool. Look forward to seeing what comes of that. I wanted to mention, Draq, you mentioned a couple things that we did this year, and there's three, but two mainly that stuck out to me. And Minus, you'll remember our Super Sunday, the one where we had the rewind in the morning, the co-stream in the afternoon, and then Pantheon Plus in the evening. We did a 10-hour, 12-hour day of just content, creation, streaming. That was an amazing day. That was so much fun, and I was so tired at the end, but we had a really good time that day. That was in January. And then
I remember saying to you, like, you good? Let's just do it after.
Yeah, I know. And it was one of those things where I agree at the time, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just agree to? I'm not sure this is a good idea. But my personal favorite, though, was interviewing J.N. Gerhart. So we did that. That was in March. And it was a moment for me in a lot of ways, because I'm just such a fan of his. I spent a lot of time prepping for that interview, listening, reading, getting the finer points, trying to remember all the details that I wanted to talk about. So I could seem like I know what I'm talking about. But just, for VR, for agreeing to do that and setting that up, and JN being so gracious and open to talk about, how he does his work and his process and the lore and all that stuff. So that was the highlight of my year, I think, was that interview. So
Well, just remember, the main reason you enjoyed it is because it took care of 2 weeks of rewind. So you can take a week off.
that is true. I can't deny that. There was a little utility in it, but right on.
All right. Anybody else have anything, favorite moments for 2021?
I just loved following Co around. So that whole stream that Co did last, I was stealthed, like GM stealthed, and just recording the whole thing. So while I put out that recap video that was like it was like 10 minutes or something. I recorded for 3 hours in 4K following them. And there was an awesome moment, and I won't be long here because I know Baz, you wanted to jump in.
Take your time.
We were down in the depths of Haunir, like when you get down into where the spirits are. So like sort of that new area, a lot of people would not, that was sort of unseen. And we went into a side, and I think if you guys remember, he ran through a wall. And Joppa kept saying, look around. There's multiple ways to go. So I have my camera set up. I'm not going to say where, pointing up on this part you could climb that nobody that I've seen to this point has climbed. So I'm just sitting there with my camera up like this, and he just walks right by and keeps going. And I know that Chris and the rest of the team there was like, go up here. And he didn't. And it's one of those things where when we talk about climbing, it really is something that everyone sort of has to be conditioned, right? You don't think about up. You just don't think about up the way you think about going around. And I also love when we tricked him into falling into the hole. Why don't you go over there? Check that out.
Chat just mentioned that. They brought that up in chat. They remember that well.
Oh, it was sacred. Yeah.
Yeah, taunted him. That's awesome.
Go ahead, Bazgrim.
Oh yeah. Well, because we were Minus, you had mentioned the newer content creators that recently started making videos about Pantheon, and that for me actually has been one of the most encouraging things that has happened this year in the community is seeing new people pop up in this kind of like renewed interest in talking about Pantheon, because just even among us on the show right now, like we can't reach everybody. It's just not possible, even though we may try. Like it's just we can't do it. We can't do it all ourselves. And so I think it has been I think it's been awesome to see some new people starting to make content more regularly. And I wanted to mention them by name because I have them written down. So Redbeard Flynn has been making a lot of really great videos recently. Also Basement RPG has been doing these really short, like 3-minute videos on YouTube that I really enjoyed. Reasoning with Roland did an interview with Joppa this year that was really, really good. And then Rise in Revelry, it's RHYS. He's just recently started getting into making Pantheon videos. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them as well, because that's so encouraging to me personally. And I think it's a good sign that more people will continue to do that as we roll into 2022, because it's just so awesome to see.
Yeah, new personalities too, right? Like that just kind of is a game changer. So like a lot of these the newer ones I haven't met or don't know them, but Redbeard Flynn I do. And that guy is freaking hilarious. Check out his shorts. That guy's so funny, man. He makes these shorts about MMOs and etc. that are like so true it hurts kind of thing. Awesome guy. And I just love new personalities.
Yeah, no exactly.
Guys. We've been hanging out together for too long. We need new friends.
Exactly. I'm sure people must get tired. People must get tired of hearing from us over and over and over again. It's like it's some fresh. You get some fresh perspectives. It's awesome.
Yeah,
100%.
Right. Let me just say it's just like the table is set for new people to come and be content creators. Like everyone here, myself included, because when I came in, everyone was so encouraging. Minus encouraged me, and Therek encouraged me, and Nathan was like, "Whatever you need, man." And Bazgrim's been super helpful. Like everyone has been super helpful in helping me get the stuff done that I needed to get done. And so I'm offering that, and I'm sure everyone else here is probably offering that too. Is if you need help, if you want to get into it, reach out to us, and we will help you down the path as much as we can.
Yeah.
I'd love, whether that's writing or whether that's making YouTube or whether that's streaming on Twitch, whatever you want to do, man. Just reach out to me on Discord, and we'll figure out a way to make it work, because I love seeing new content creators. I love seeing new people with a passion for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, because it's what I'm passionate about, and so I just want more. I want more of everything. So I want to be able to listen to other people talk.
And that right there is why I felt great leaving it in the hands of you two guys for Pantheon Plus, because that was always the mission. And Therek, you know that from the day you came in. It wasn't about us. It was about what else is there? How can we help? And it's awesome to hear you guys still do
and that's a good point about that. Like, content isn't just making YouTube videos either. Like, if that's just not your thing, like, then it's just not your thing, and that's fine. But like, Nemufe on Twitter, like making those comic strips, amazing.
Love them. Yeah.
The
Awesome stuff.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Before, if I was still with VR, or I'm sorry, with Pantheon Plus, I had proposed an idea to Nemufe that nobody knows about other than Therek, that we were going to make an adult children's book based on Minus the Rogue and have Nemufe draw it. Yes. And like me and Therek were writing all the pages up. It would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, that's exactly. I remember that. Yeah, it's in the file with ideas we have yet to develop. And there's a few things in there, I'll tell you that much. Minus is a dynamo of ideas, and a lot of them are, they're ideas. They take some development. We get there eventually.
And now poor Ben Dean has to put up with all that.
We're sorry, Ben Dean.
Sorry,
not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, Ben Dean's used to saying no and hurting people's feelings. It doesn't matter.
I feel like I got to clear the air on that. I feel like he gets such a bad rep. He gets.
Yeah, he's a teddy bear. Actually, I just think it's funny to do that to him.
All right, so let's move on to. I'm the Ben Dean of this program. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm the guy that keeps things on track. So
how are we for being on track?
Oh, you guys. I mean, it's pretty good. I haven't.
One question, 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Only 9 to go.
No sleep till 2022. That's the new name of the stream. What is your what is one goal or a goal or your biggest goal for 2022, Mr. Nathan Napalm?
Honestly, for 2022, I'm really trying to, because tonight I'm gonna get 10K, so I can't say that. So honestly, 2022, what I want to do, honestly, is this is the year I want to step away from the day gig and go full time into content in one way or another. And I have a lot of projects going that I've been working on for the past couple of years. I've kept mostly silent because I wasn't sure they're going to work out, and I didn't want to say anything until I was 100% sure. I have a few things that hopefully will get me that the freedom to where I can just pursue content creation and creative endeavors in general for a living instead of trying to work I love my job, but it takes up 60 hours a week. So it's hard for me to do what I want to do content creation wise when I've got a demanding job that there's no days off. So that's what I'm gonna do next year, or at least get really close to it, right? It may not be possible to do it next year, but at least get close to that and get that creative freedom.
That's a great goal, Nate. I just checked your social blade, and I hate to say it, but you're at 9,990. So apparently, since the start of the show, 2 people unsubscribed from you. I don't know what that means.
You might be right. I did mention puppets already.
We're taking you down. We're the sinking ship.
Yeah, geez. I asked for some subscribers. They were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I was going to unsubscribe to that guy."
Oh yeah, that guy.
Just reminded people to unsubscribe. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
They probably listened to the No Sleep Till 50 theme song. That's probably what happened. The Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Which, by the way, whoever owns that song agreed to that being okay, which is really hilarious.
Like, really?
That's awesome.
YouTube just automatically says, "Hey, that's copyrighted." No, right? Somebody has to step in somehow and say, "No, that is okay." So what's funny about that song is somebody seen it and was like, "No, that's cool. Let them do that."
That's funny.
Meanwhile, Oasis pulled down my original parody video.
Oh no!
Yeah, and that was original, or not original, but totally recreated.
Well, that's the Oasis one. I just found a backing track.
I'm thinking of the Green Day.
The Green Day one lives on.
Yeah.
That one lives on. We got to do another one of those, by the way. That's another one of my goals for 2022, Draq, is to do that music video. Draq and I have talked about a music video, some ideas for another one. So
We need to all do one, right? We all need to do one.
There's one in the works. It's in the works. It has not gone away. I'm on
Bazgrim. I don't think Bazgrim agreed to that one yet, though.
No. So see, Okay. So a few years ago, whenever it was when you guys were making the parody videos, I started making one. Did I ever talk about this?
I knew that, but I don't know if you mentioned it publicly.
I started making one. It was going to be a parody of "Hey There, Delilah" by Plain White Tees, and I came up with we were gonna go to like Boston and basically like recreate the whole music video and everything. Nice. And we had this whole plan, and then I went to go like record the audio for it, and that was that. In that very moment, I realized how terrible of a singer I am, and like no, it's like I don't know. I could not. We tried auto tuning. Auto tune could not even fix me.
Wow.
And nothing we can do.
I'm seriously like honestly like I mean. And my editor was like, honestly, I would not, just don't. Like we can't. He's like, no, we're not doing this.
What the funny thing is that's when Nathan knows it's like perfect for his stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. That's. I mean, that works. You can pull it off. I can't.
Yeah. See, my wife actually sings really good, and you'll notice she's hardly ever singing in them because the point, like, she'll sing, and I'll be like, that actually sounds good though. Like that's not what I'm going for here, right?
That's when being on tune.
Is that why you had to wear her dress?
Yeah. No. Just so everybody knows, I was trying to recreate the original Queen music video, right? And he's like dressed like a woman the whole time, and that was my wife's dress, and I messed it up, like like I stretched things out, and like she had to throw it away. That it was useless after that. And she was specifically like, "Don't ruin this. I actually like this dress," and I ruined it.
Well, I don't know if there will be dresses involved, but there may be some music videos in the future.
All right. Well, Bazgrim, 2022. What's a goal you got?
Well, obviously, like I said earlier, just improving the library and just kind of raising awareness for it. We also recently, just this month, launched the Librarian of Pantheon, which is a Discord bot that we're really excited about to make it easier to access all the information in the library right from Discord. It's really interactive, just kind of flows well with any sort of conversation that might be happening about Pantheon in any Discord server. We've sent it to a few different Discord servers. You guys still need to accept the invite, by the way. But we're really excited about that, and so you're just going to continue working with that, and you can expect us to also hold some sort of a scavenger hunt on the Library of Pantheon website.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
So to kind of get people, exploring all the different nooks and crannies, and those people who are, particularly adept at finding information and maybe very knowledgeable about their Pantheon history will have an advantage of that, and there will be some prizes. So that's one thing that we're working on that really excited. And then other than that, though, that's on the library side of things. And then as far as my YouTube channel goes, I'm looking at revamping my Patreon tiers on my Patreon page, because those have been more or less the same for quite a while. So I kind of want to revamp those. Times have changed. I want to kind of come up with new ways to thank the people that support me, and also coming up with some revamping my my merch store as well, which is something that I haven't really promoted in a long time. It's there and it works, but I think coming into this year, I think it'll be a good time to kind of spruce that up, come up with some new Bazgrim merch. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at this point.
Nice.
Love it.
Very cool. Mr. Therek?
Yeah, for me, it's pretty general. I want to keep improving my skills when it comes to video editing. I want to keep innovating. I think for the rewind, because like I said, it's a weekly show. It's easy to fall into a rut where you just get used to doing the same thing every week. And one of the most valuable lessons that I learned, working with Minus was it's not about necessarily creating new content or delivering new content. Sometimes it's about how you do it. It's about the process. Being creative in ways you deliver the content, and I think that's the key that I want to work on from that mindset. We've done that a little bit with the lore segment of the rewind, where I used it as an avenue to try and get into doing more audio work with like voice, sound effects, ambient music, and enhancing it in that way. And I think that there's a lot of room to grow from that perspective. So I want to try and do more of that stuff because I personally love doing it. It's fun. I got good feedback on it. It was well received. So take that idea and then move it to another segment of the rewind and do something, try and do it in a different way, so keeping it fresh and not getting stale with it. That's one of the goals for the new year for me. And then as a secondary,
did I hear more bumpers?
More bumpers. I still have so many we haven't used. I want to find an excuse to use.
Are you ever going to bring back the mean comments one? That was a good bumper.
Minus, it's funny you should mention that. I thought about bringing up mean comments, but we didn't have a section called "What didn't work for you this year," or else I would have included it because it seemed like a good idea at the time.
We got a lot of negative comments for the mean.
Yeah, it fell on its face pretty hard, but we had fun doing it at the moment, so who cares, right? But yeah, and it's not like we have a shortage of mean comments. You can always find them if you go looking for them, right? So
listen, I gotta say this, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I just want to say this: that sometimes you make content for yourself, right? Like sometimes I make stuff on my channel. It's honestly, I know that the overall community is not going to like it, but I want to do it, right? And I'm just like,
that's a really good
care.
point.
And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I troll them into watching it. I'll put like a thumbnail that kind of, I'm like, yeah, they'll want to click that. They'll click that, right? And then they're like, it's a puppet. He tricked me, sometimes I just do stuff for me,
Yeah, you gotta be a little self-indulgent sometimes. That is true. And like, yeah, there's stuff that I know isn't necessarily going to be the most popular, but I get so much joy out of doing it. I'm just like, I'm gonna, and I think that's important as a content creator for all of us, that we have to remember that we're in this because we enjoy it and not because we're trying to, achieve some, like, goals are great. And I'm glad that, like, for me, it's like the numbers are important and I'm interested in stats and the analytics of it all. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be driven by that. I want to be driven by my interest and my passion in the subject matter. So
that'll last a lot longer, right? Like,
right.
But being driven by data works if you're like at a job for a corporate company, maybe. But when you're doing it yourself and you're the one that actually, you're the guy. I feel like, if you're not getting enjoyment out of it, you're probably in the wrong field,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I would say to any new content creator, right? Because, like, look, we all spend an inordinate amount of time creating content. Like, this is my hobby, right? This is it, right? And so creating content, if you don't like what you're doing, like, you're gonna burn out fast.
Especially if you're doing it for money.
Yeah. You're just it's not monetarily the hours spent versus the money you get does not line up.
I think I also want to say that I'm super blessed to make any money, right? Like making any money doing something that I would have done anyway, is awesome. But if you're a new content creator and you think you're going to get rich, no, you're not. So you gotta love it. I mean, or else you're gonna not want to do it anymore.
When Nathan says he's going to go full time, what he really means is he's going to live off cheese sandwiches and and build fires in his living room.
Yeah, what I really mean is I'm gonna. My kids are almost old enough to work. No, I'm just kidding.
A random Rob said in chat. All right, Mr. Minus. goals for 2022?
Ooh. So, I'm not going to overspeak here, I don't think. I was told to have fun, so here we go.
We want you to
Appreciate fun
overspeak.
section.
We're here for the overspeaking.
So, nice. So, this year, you've heard from Chris say that this is going to be a big year. And I'm pretty sure there's been, even Ben Dean said it. You've seen it in newsletters. This, and in the past, I think some people would say they've said, that they're really excited for something to come, and maybe it was a little further. The amount that is going to happen here soon is going to be floodgates. And, I'll be open and honest here because I have been, the last little bit here while we're converting to HDRP, I can't really get into a server and screen cap and do videos. So I know you guys saw some of the short videos I made, the video with the monk video. And it's really been important to me to try to bridge that gap of content length, right? It's and it's something all of you have said. Baz has talked in depth about the need for this, and it's really resonated with me ever since I've met you guys. Was we have an hour long now what we have created as a podcast, right? The VIP Roundtable, you can get it as a podcast. We have an hour long, live stream, and that was all we had. So we introduced in the newsletter. Obviously, I'm excited to get the newsletter to continue to go on. We've done pretty good things with the newsletter, bringing back the community focus. But the big thing is while we've been doing all this, everything you're seeing is with me having very limited access, myself, Ronik, to really get in, dig in, and be more creative with content. And when the new build hits for HDRP, that is done. Like, if I think I'm doing a lot of work now, there will literally not be a second I can't get in and get something or screenshot something or set something up for a stream or a newsletter or a content release or more parting the veils. So for me, and I think for a lot of people who are into Pantheon, as well as the development team, when that HDRP build hits, which again, we are not far off. I'm not using the word, I'm not saying it. We are
Hashtag
so close. And when that happens, it will take some internal testing. But it's going to really change everything for Pantheon. I really do believe that. You guys are aware of what's going to happen with that. Sacred's here, so I'm going to give him a shout out. He's actually said to me, hey, are you on the dev build that we're creating? Do you get to go in there? No, I don't, Sacred. Thank you. But he said, holy cow, I can't wait till you see this. Because he's been working on numbers like you wouldn't believe. We heard about that on the combat stream. Guys, you're going to get a new combat experience. It's really going to fit more to that vision. It's coming. Sacred goes, good. But, graphical upgrade, right? Just what the terrain's going to look like. The character model animations are going to improve. You've heard all that. But just the classes, the recreation of the classes into the HDRP and the tuning, the changes. You guys have heard about the changes with caster classes, where we're no longer going to have crits, so you can feel like you wield damage, not a unpredictable amount of damage. And to comment on that more, think about it. If I'm melee, I'm white damaging and I'm critting like crazy and I'm hitting constantly and I'm doing attacks like a bunch. But if I'm a caster sitting in the back and I'm using a big spell, when that doesn't hit big, it feels bad, right? So like that is going to be a big piece of, that those people who love casters, Draq, the wizard, the enchanter, you guys are going to feel the power of magic. And in a way, I don't think many MMORPGs have ever done. Because I saw when it was announced that the crits weren't going to work like they normally do with casters, a lot of people were scared. Like, oh, but I love big numbers. Well, what if every time you decided to use your big number spell, you got a big number? So it's really exciting. I am chomping at the bit. I've even requested to get into that dev server early to just run around. So once that clicks and I can get into our build and start looking and creating content from it, like, I don't know how I'm going to do my other job because, guys, there's so much coming. I'll tell you too, we're looking to expand the audience of the game when that hits and we're able to get closer to alpha. we're constantly looking at ways to not just make sure the community here is pleased, but that we're really focused on building the community, right? Because I think for a while we've focused on our community. But the next step is other content creators that are big out there getting their hands on Pantheon. It's in the works. Is it ready yet? No. But we have out there to show the game off. We have you guys in community, and that will continue. But we are looking for more opportunities. So I just think that for everyone who's been patient, and for everybody who is really been craving something big, it's coming, and it's gonna be awesome.
What about people who's pretended to be patient?
That's fine.
Ask him for a
You'll
friend.
count. You'll be happy to.
Are we gonna let them just kind of slip in the back, or are we gonna make them make them do the walk of shame through the front door? How's that gonna work?
Come right in. Come right in. Let us dispel. It's like walking through. You know how like in those movies where there's a disease out in the world and you have to go into that thing and you just get sprayed down so you don't bring the disease in, like a containment room. Bring all your doubts. We're gonna put you in a room and we're gonna decontaminate all your doubts.
I like
and
that.
then throw you into the world eventually here. So, expect. I mean, I think we've done well with content, but expect more specialized content for sure. Because once and people have asked, hey, that monk video was really cool. Will we see more of that for other classes? Yes, it is my goal to get one of those up for every class on the website.
Yes,
but
wow, that'd be really cool.
The monk had like really special animations. It was a perfect time to do that video. It was new. I want to do it when we're sure that the classes are more where they're going to be, so that it just doesn't become an outdated video, if that makes sense, as far as like animations and special effects and like what we show. So those are coming for sure, but we want to make sure that they have the same feel that the monk video did. Even though the monk one will probably need updated anyway, but so lots coming, definitely.
Yeah. It's funny you said that, Minus. It made me think of something that I can't believe none of us have mentioned it in terms of one of our favorite moments of the year. But Fortress Devair was an amazing experience that sort of keys into what you're talking about, bringing other audiences and bringing people into the Pantheon world. I think that experience was amazing and just made it so much more real for me personally, but I am sure for everybody else who got to experience it as well. If that's something that VR has in the cards down the road for other content creators, I felt like it worked really well, and I would just put that out there as tying it into our look back at the year, but also looking ahead. Something like that was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
It's a two-prong approach, right? And another part of my role is working on like marketing style aspects and working with Ben Dean about like how we get things out. It's obviously Ben's in charge, just kind of ideas. But the one thing I will tell you is that we understand the value of, and obviously coming from it, understand the value of our content creators, the people who have been here with us, everybody in here. And even some people who aren't maybe making content now, but we understand the value of Pantheon content creators, what you have done to keep the community engaged. The library of Pantheon, right? If people can't follow the game as much as they want to, they can find the answers now, right? These are you as, how do I put this, as supporters of the game, we need to support you back, and we believe in that 110%. And whether it comes to whatever ends up happening with the content creator program in the future, with asset packages, creating asset packages for content creators to help content creators, it's all stuff that we want to do while simultaneously knowing that we need to also build outside. But the big thing is when we do a stream with or if we find another really popular MMORPG, it doesn't take away from the fact that we know that what you bring and getting you into those streams is also super important. So
Yeah, so I mean, we were highlighting some of the smaller content creators from earlier, like Redbeard Flynn and some of the others, and just I'd love to see them have opportunities like that, or some variation on that. I think it'd be amazing. So, yeah.
All right, for myself, goals for 2022. I just want to continue to hone in on what I'm doing. For me, it's a lot of improvement. I haven't even. I'm not even a year into this yet, which seems pretty as being kind of the stream guy, and so I'm still kind of figuring things out a little bit, but and so I want to do that. I also am just like I said before, I'm just really passionate about bringing other people along, and we've kind of got our little streamer crew that we put out on our calendar every week. Oh, we haven't mentioned CryptFox yet. He hasn't done a lot of. He's not so much like a video maker, but he just likes to stream. And he is chomping at the bit to make Pantheon content as well. But like those type of people, the future Pantheon streamers, future Pantheon content creators, like I'd love to help people, bring them along, help them create content, help them get into it. I learned all this stuff from scratch and from asking other people questions. So that's just kind of one of my goals, is to help another crew of people, help another crew of writers come along and just double the size of the stuff that we're putting out, right? And it doesn't even have to be under the Pantheon Plus banner. We don't really care. Just as long as you're doing stuff for the Pantheon community, like let's get it all out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when any of us succeed, it helps everybody else, right? And it's because we're intertwined in different ways, right? Like obviously Pantheon, right? But even beyond that, we do things outside of it. This stream, the playing MMOs, whatever it may be, we do things so that and that's what I mention this every year, but I just can't help it because it becomes even more of a big deal each year that we're still like get along. Like that's really rare. That's really rare in an MMO community for content creators to get along. There's no drama. We get along. We help each other out. We communicate with each other behind the scenes. And a lot of times we're talking about the same subject, right? Because a big news hits and it's like, and we're all like piling in to say the same, not the same thing, but about the same subject. And that would normally cause a hostile environment, right? And we've avoided it. We've all, that's amazing. I just think that's a really big deal. Now, really, every year I'm like, let's get through another year where we're all just getting along, and because to the community that looks really good too, So I just think it's a great example that, like,
Nathan, why did you start this stream off with telling everybody you lost a friend?
Yeah,
he's guilting you, Minus. It's just it's a guilt trip, nothing more than that.
You did not lose a friend.
I didn't lose a friend. I lost a content creator friend. You?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's
well.
but
I mean, here he is, though.
Yeah,
that's true. Good point. Yeah, here he
Can't
is.
kill me. I'm like a cockroach.
Get to be a content creator with them once a year. Okay, yeah.
I'll be there for the draft.
Okay, twice a year. All right, double. We just doubled.
Nice.
Well, I was.
Who else is going to pick Minus if I'm not there? Let's be real.
That's a good one.
Well, we were kind of going back and forth in the pre-show, and Minus mentioned that he might have a few stories from VR that he might want to share. So let's take this opportunity to have story time with Minus.
Well, it's nothing crazy, but there's one I do want to share, and this actually, he's gonna watch this and he's gonna rag on me. I know he's gonna because since the day I stepped in VR, I love him to death. I would say we've become great friends. But there's a topic, and I think the only person who knows about this is Therek. And I have woven this story about Therek and how evil he is. So it's gonna be fun to share this. So if you remember, Therek, we did the Discovering Pantheon, was that in 2020, end of 2020 video? Yeah. And we highlighted some of the devs. Like, we're like, this isn't everybody, but these are some of the main faces. And there's one that we didn't mention who now working with VR, I realize like how much this guy does. Now, I'm going to blame him. It's his fault. Okay. Rob, if you're watching, Rob, it's your fault. Rob hides behind the curtains. Like when we got him on the stream the one time, that was shocking, right? When he was talking and he made his videos and he was narrating them, which was great. But it's so Rob is also one of the programmers, and I know that Kyle is amazing, absolutely amazing. His level of genius is something in 50 lifetimes I wouldn't ever even touch. but they both do very different programming and what they work on. And Rob does a ton of work, a ton. Like what you guys are about to see next is almost entirely what Rob has been working on, and it's amazing. I'm not going to spoil that for him. But the story is funny because he always goes, remember that video you made? You didn't put me in there. And it's just, it's always, so I'm like, Rob, I wanted to. But Therek was like, no. I'm like, everybody thinks he's really nice. Like, everybody thinks Therek's this really nice guy, but he's like, no, nobody knows Rob. And why would we put him in there? And I'm like, Rob, I'm sorry. It's like the whole time everyone thought I was the evil one, but it was Therek this whole time. So the ongoing joke is every time he brings it up, which is, like we'll be talking and I'll joke about something. It's like, yeah, well, remember that time I didn't exist or something like that, as a joke. But he is absolutely awesome. And if you ever make a discovering video, if you guys do a discovering Pantheon in 2022, let's make sure Rob gets in there. Draq, make sure that Therek doesn't stop it again, okay? Because he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
I'm on it. I'll make sure it doesn't happen.
Hey,
Thank you.
minus. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when he came on and talked, it was voice only, right?
Yeah.
I need a.
You guys got to get him on camera.
Can you get me a picture of that guy? I'll make something so special if you get me a picture.
Sacred, Tehom, can we do it? Can we get a picture of Rob?
Get a picture, and I'll make something real special for him, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'll really just make that guy feel real good.
Oh man, would that be good?
He's gonna wish he's gonna be missing the days when he wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, I think he's gonna instantly regret all of this.
And he needs to be in the draft. If Rob's not in the draft, we're gonna have problems. So make a draft card for Rob. Make 2 even. I don't know if you have to.
Well,
behind the curtain.
It's good to know this because I actually just added a quote from Robert to my next video today. So I'm glad. I'm gonna dodge that bullet.
Yes, yeah. No, but in all honesty, he's someone who kind of stays behind the scenes. Like, jokes aside, he works. Everyone on the team works, guys, like 20 plus hours some days. Like it's crazy the hours these guys put in. And I know Rob, like he lives over in Australia. And the big thing for him is like he's constantly awake when we're awake, like so he can communicate and fix things for people and create new things. And he's just amazing. I wanted to make sure to give him a shout out because he's sort of behind the scenes. And I think that he's been on the team for so long. And I think his quietness and, he doesn't put himself in front of the camera and stuff like that. I want to give him a shout out. He deserves it. He's killing it right now. And a lot of what you guys are about to see are going to come from some of the fruits of his labor and things even outside of what he knew that he just figured out because like this guy is such a programmer. So I want to give Rob his, what they say, give him his flowers. I'm going to make sure to give him his flowers here. The other one, I just want to reiterate on something. And it's Tim, who is our new environment artist. Tim hasn't, you guys have seen a little bit of you've seen a lot of his work, but you haven't heard a lot from Tim. I just want to say that I think Ronik said like in the last stream, like how quick, like the gate was developed. And I want to give you guys a little insight on what I mean by how quick. So the gate was not anything. And I'm very fortunate to be on a creative call with everybody. I get to see like weekly updates and I kind of update on what the comms team is working on. And, I saw a shot from Jared 1 week, and the next week the whole entrance was made, and he was already building the inside. And then I saw a concept art picture from Jared of the inside, and then the next day there was an inside, and it's just like, wow, like the speed, like so again, kind of the main reason to bring this up is he's awesome. he's incredible. But the other reason to bring it up is like if you think about the things that the community was kind of like stuck on. And again, I don't speak for everybody. It's just kind of, my musings and seeing what I see. But, the communication piece, I feel like we've vastly improved that as a team. They've been worried about the speed of world building. I would hope, comments from you guys, but world building has just tremendously picked up. It's pretty insane, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you start seeing Tim building these, like, I'm not even going to tell you what I just saw, but it's another part of the gate. And it was just like, holy cow, this is amazing. Like the guy can, and you've all heard Jared. Everybody knows Jared's like, his passion, what you've heard from him on streams is this much of that guy's passion. It is And every Monday, I just wait for his part of the call, and I get super excited. I'm like, oh, Jared's up, let's go. And he's showing stuff and doing this crazy stuff. And it's just like he has these amazing images and these amazing drawings and this concept of like world building. And then a couple days later, it's built. It's mind blowing. Like the speed and effort of this team. So I want to give a big shout out to him because he's newer to the team, but the amount of work he's done has been amazing. The environment that he's building as an environmental artist is in such good hands. And he's super experienced. If anyone hasn't looked up, he's done stuff with Guild Wars 2. So like he's done a lot. He's awesome. So I just, some of the guys that don't always get the camera time that are just doing some amazing things right now. And there's many more. But this is the quality of people that VR brings on board. And if that should tell you guys, that's exciting, right? Like it's not just me sitting here and saying nonsense. Like these are real things that are happening and it's amazing. So
nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
Not surprising at all, but always great to hear.
Yep.
All right.
I don't have any stories that'll get me in trouble, like me getting in trouble or anything. So I'm sorry. I know you guys are probably like, oh, stories from mine. See, the Party in the Veil's been a good story. Joppa that was a crazy idea. You guys talked about crazy ideas. Like that was me throwing an idea off the wall. I'm like, what if we do this and we just start really attacking these and saying our piece and this is the answer? And he's like, I love it. And I'm like, okay, so how do we figure this all out? And he pushed it. Like he was the one hey, when are we recording this? When are we doing this? So really excited into the new year, what we're going to tackle. Because I told him, I want to just have real conversations. We're going to talk about, his views on instancing. We're going to talk about, I'm not saying there's any instancing, but why?
Possible upcoming transmog discussion.
Sure, but it's all the things that the community talks about. And we actually are probably going to be talking to our VIPs in Discord and kind of saying, hey, here's some ideas. What do you guys want to hear an answer on? I know we're going to eventually do one on climbing, right? Like why climbing is important because there's still a gap. Everyone here has got to play and climb. So we get it, I think. But people who haven't got to are kind of like on the fence about climbing. And oh my gosh, once you touch it, once it's in your hands and you use it to play the game, it's amazing. So I really want to go into more depth on exactly how that system's going to work. But it's a really fun project to be able to sort of drive some definitive answers in a short form. I know the first one was like almost an hour, which is in short form, but it was 2 parts. We're going to try to get to like 20 to 30 minutes. That's it. So more short form content, but really excited about that. We're starting to line up some topics and it's really fun. It is the most unscripted thing you will ever see. Is it edited? Is it cleaned up? Yes. But man, is it a fun conversation back and forth. So excited for more of those. But that's it. I'll give you that. That's all I got for stories.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure Rob got his flowers today. Rob, you're the man.
And Nathan says this all the time, right? So when we're playing the MMORPG 101, he says this all the time. He's like, why can't I climb this wall?
Yeah.
we're just sitting there. Nathan and I were just running against walls. Like, how come I can't go up this tree?
You can slay a dragon. You can cast a magical fireball from the sky. But this little ledge is a bit too high. Can you please walk around and go up the
That's exactly it. Yeah.
It is a game changer, guys. It's another layer of freedom, right? And overall, a big part, not the whole spirit, but a big part of the spirit of old school MMOs was that you felt freedom, and for different reasons, right? Like EverQuest, you felt it because there was just so many options with the classes and what you could do with those, and it didn't feel like they limited, and people found really weird ways to do things and to get around things and to, charm guards and all this stuff, that you felt this massive freedom, and then games got more restricting as time went on. Climbing is one of many reasons that Pantheon, you feel the freedom. It feels like you've been carrying this MMO backpack that weighs 700 pounds and it gets 20 more pounds added every day. And then when you get to try some of we're getting tiny little peaks, but when you just get a peak of Pantheon, it's like that backpack just comes off for a little while and you're just like, thank God, this is what I've been waiting for. That we made jokes all the time. 20 years ago, playing EverQuest, I'm sure we all thought like, man, how core MMO is going to be, 15 years from now, and we're still playing EverQuest, right? Like it's crazy, But that freedom and the climbing. I mean, you can't put it into words. It has to be experienced.
100%. All right, let's move on to we'll call this the last question of the night. What is on your Christmas list for Pantheon in 2022? Nathan.
Oh, well. That's an easy one. It's a word we're not
maybe
allowed
we
to
should
say.
say besides the A word. Maybe we should just put that out there. Besides the A word, what's on?
All right.
What's on your list?
Wait. I know Nathan's isn't the A word. Nathan, I know what yours is. I got a message in Discord.
I already got my wish. They've already initially implemented. Right, I have to say that I'm on a very strict NDA where I'm not allowed to say anything except for initially implemented the Paladin. So I just want to play the Paladin next year. And I feel
vengeful.
like I'm pretty sure I'm going to get to. Pretty sure. And let me tell you something, guys. It's been a dark time for me. I've had to test the Dire Lord for quite a while now, and it's had a mental effect on me.
When you say test, Nathan, I think what you mean is murder innocents repeatedly for small amounts of coin.
Because
one time, the first time only.
I had to do it to get to the group to play with you guys. So it's really took its toll on me. I just don't know. I'm happy it's happening.
Goblet. Look at that goblet.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, look at this
kind
of dire lord.
Yeah, look at that. Look what is happening.
Paladin.
I'm drinking out of the skull of a gnome or something.
Is there a red liquid in there? What color is in there?
Blood red.
Yeah. So that's me, for sure. The paladin plus the cleric plus the warrior, for anybody who didn't get the memo, has been initially implemented. Okay.
Taehome's in chat. You can maybe get more info from him if you want.
Sacred just asked him. Yeah, he said, "Hey, Taehom, do we still have the paladin?"
Wow, that's
all right.
That's awesome.
So, paladin, that's what you want for Christmas for 2020.
Well, I mean, I want it before Christmas, but you know.
All right. Bazgrim.
For me, it's pretty simple. Just more streams like the one that we did back in March, because that was. I know we referenced that a little bit earlier in the stream, and kind of based on what Midas was saying, it sounds like there's a pretty decent chance maybe of something like that happening again, because that was a blast going through Fortress Devair with you guys, and just not with any agenda or being told to go to some certain places or talk about certain things, and just playing an MMO together, and just exploring, and that was so much fun. So I would love to get to a point where we can do that sort of thing more frequently, where it's not just once a year,
Absolutely.
Mr. Therek?
Well, I was told by Sparrow I have to say Ranger, and I do want to say Ranger because Ranger. But I have another thing that I thought of, and this is something that's just from recent news from the last VIP roundtable when Joppa was talking about the perception system and how it's being sort of implemented and how it's being connected to group play. And one of the things that I've talked a lot about in the past is, what social value does being a keeper have? Like, what is it going to mean in the game if I know the lore, if I, do all the perception stuff? Does that have any value? And so that was teased a little bit at the last roundtable, and this is a big ticket item for me. I really want to know more about this. I'd like to, So I mean, who knows when, but for Christmas present for next year, I'll take something like that. That would work for me.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Minus, don't get fired.
Yes, that'd be a good one.
So Minus, now you have to give us all those gifts we just asked for.
Yeah. No, I don't think you have the super long rope yet. Maybe you're gonna have to play a little safe here. But what do you hope for Pantheon for Christmas for 2022?
Yeah, I'm waiting for this next build. I kind of said this already, so I won't go into a lot of depth, but it just means a lot. It means a lot. It's a huge step towards the roadmap of Alpha. You guys can see it there. It's going to really change and really implement the last little touches on some things that have really been theories and design ideas that haven't yet been fully seen out are going to be seen more. The other aspect of it too is just getting our testers back in, right? Like with this new build being worked on and HDRP being worked on so long, it's what's caused a little bit of delay in getting our testers back in. But like just the simple fact of when this comes up, first our internal testing team, which if you guys don't know is led by Kim, she is crazy amazing. Like, wow. Like when I've helped test sometimes, like when I had a free night or they needed somebody, I'd jump in and test. And like the level of knowledge that her and her testers have to like break games and like, it's so cool. It's like a whole different world to me because that's nothing I've ever specialized in. Like I'm good at playing the games in MMORPGs, but not like breaking them. I haven't been that guy. Like, what if you do this? Or what if I change this in my inventory to this slot? Like the minds on this team. And again, Kim really driving that home. She's crazy amazing. But just getting them in to get it ready, because every time the pre-alpha testers get into the game, it's 100%. Well, let's say 75% thanks to Kim and her team testing and getting it ready, and they actually put the seal of approval on like the build. And then we have our team as well who work on getting the build set up and getting it transferred to the server and doing the updates and fixes. So it's a really cool process and waiting for HDRP to be completely finished so that process can begin, so that content creators can get in and make stuff, so we can bring in testers and we can bring in streamers like content creator streamers or or stuff like that. It's such a big thing, and like I said, I think it's going to be more towards the first half of the year. I'm going to really give myself a lot of time so I don't get in trouble, than it is going to be anywhere near the second half of the year. So I'm just really excited for this HDRP build to come out. It's telling you guys, it's the GOAT. It is really the rubber hitting the road. It's going to be awesome.
Nice. Well, I'm swinging big today. So what I'm going with is and this is the end of the year, right? So this is Christmas. So what I want for Christmas for 2022 is I want all races and classes to be implemented and all spells and skills to be implemented. Not necessarily maybe balanced or finished totally, but I think we should, that VR should have a list and that it should be in its kind of like finished form. And so I just think, because I love races and classes. I like looking at it, diving into all that stuff. That's my favorite part about MMOs. And so I think if they have all of that like set in place by Christmas of next year, just like rock solid, it's fun, it's engaging, all the classes are set and their skills and stuff are set, that we'll be ready for, dare I say, beta in 2023. And so that's what I want for Christmas for 2022.
Somebody messed up. They said no A word, but they forgot to say no B word.
No B word.
Draq just slipped right through there.
Boom!
Skipped right over all that alpha nonsense. Went right to
Sparrow just said she thought my favorite part was the auction house. Well, there's that too.
Wait, I'll add this too, is if you guys have seen recently, a couple things are pretty important. Kyle has begun work on the network. I'm sure you guys saw that in the newsletter. So the initial work and heads down on that is happening. That's a huge deal. Because I think a lot of people have sort of wondered, like, why is that so important? I know we've talked about it, all of us here, many times, but it's the next step in getting the pet classes ready, right? Which I know everyone is just chomping at the bit for Summoner. And Druid, Ranger. Yeah, so that network stack's gonna be there, and that's also as we look at getting towards alpha, the network stack is what's going to create the stability for the server to run with just as many players as we can get in there, right? So that's really important, and it's really going to be the final layer to building this game and rapidly progressing like we have been. The other thing I do want to mention, and I don't want this to sound cheesy, but this is 100% true, and I'm just reiterating that Joppa talked about this before, and it was where we are. You guys have heard that there's going to be a new pledge level coming. I'm not going to spoil any details on that, but that is coming. And some people have asked recently a lot in Discord or in Twitter, like, hey, I've been thinking about going to VIP, but if alpha is coming, like, is it really worth it? And Joppa, I'm just reiterating what Joppa said about that, is that while we do hope to get to alpha sooner than later, the amount of testing that's going to need to happen, while it may happen more frequently. See, I think one of the fears people had when they heard that originally was, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to pre-alpha test. People like, oh, great, it's going to be pre-alpha all year. it's the rapid pace at which we hope to get to, where pre-alpha testers will get more pre-alpha testing time as we build towards alpha. So we do believe there's still value there. And don't forget, like, it's, I'm going to take the Ben Dean role here, but it's 100% true that, we're funded right now by the donations and the pledges and the support of the community and telling your friends and bringing new people in. So just keep in mind that there's a ton of value in that still. We really believe that. Joppa waxed poetic about that, so I'm not just saying this. There's a lot of value still in what we're going to be able to do when this HDRP build goes live. We can get our testers in there. It's going to be very exciting. I think everybody's going to be into it. So just want to make sure to throw that out there so everybody knows. Like, the other thing I do want to hint on too, and it's been said a lot recently, and Baz, I want to thank you. You have brought it up on Twitter quite a bit. You've brought it up on Reddit quite a bit. There's a lot of people that are like, this game's getting funded and this game's getting funded. Why is Pantheon not getting funded? And as Baz has said, and this is 100% true, is the only way we're going to get a publisher or a developer to bring us, to bring Pantheon to life and to fund it through completion is if it works for the team's ideals. If it works for what VR wants Pantheon to be, if the creative control can be there, there is no way this team, with how passionate they are, is going to allow someone to come in and change the vision that we have been working on, that all of you have been a part of. And that's why we still say it is important that we get pledges because of that. Because we're not just going out and taking the money people want to give us. We want to make it right. And we've seen across the genre that doesn't always work out great for companies. And we don't want to make Pantheon the next game that happens to. So, we have some amazing discussions that are always ongoing. Ben leads that. He's always talking and he's built amazing relationships. But when that news ever comes, know that it's going to be to keep Pantheon whole and to keep the vision alive, so that when you guys play this game, we're not turning it. It's not going to all of a sudden be a different game, right? Mm-hmm. So again, all your support from and Sacred said it earlier. Support from the content creators to spread the word, to clear up things, to say things we can't say, or speak for us, or say maybe this is what I think, whether it's true or not, is super helpful. And just thank you guys, because you've been a huge part of that. I mean, anything from everyone who subscribes to you and maybe pledges, or your referral of, or the great things that the community does on the Rewind to give out pledges, or giving out a pledge like you guys are tonight. I just want to say thank you, because I think that when I signed up to back this game, it was because they weren't going to settle. They were only going to make the game that they believed in, they wanted to do, and that's still the same today. And as a part of the company now, I see it more than ever, and it's just super exciting. So.
Yeah, and respect, by the way, right? So I just want to mention how rare this is, right? So look back, think of MMOs. Go back as far as you want to the very beginning, whatever, right? You got to think of it this way. Like, you got to think of it from the developer point of view and from our point of view. From the community only point of view, we're like, well, of course somebody should have values like that, right? But then you think from a developer point of view and how hard it must actually be to stick to a vision and stick to a plan when there are offers on the table, and there have been offers. We don't know what they are, et cetera, and they won't probably ever be disclosed. But there have been offers, and to say, I'm sorry, that's a lot of money you're offering. However, it's not the vision. We're not a good partner based on what you want out of it, what we want to do. The kahunas it takes to do that, right? When you're trying to grow your team, you're trying to get this product out as fast as possible, and you're trying to eat, right? Like, you got to eat. That I just can't imagine. I can't imagine being a person who has to, or persons who has to make, and be like, no, I've turned this deal down, right? Even though there's a lot of good would come from it, it would hurt what this game would become. Therefore, we have to. That is unprecedented.
And let's be real, though. It does, the side effect of standing true to your values and standing true to the design and the promises, it takes a little longer. That's where we are. And the more progress we make, especially as big as progress is going to be, gives us more opportunity to hopefully close that gap. But you've seen this last year, Baz, another great post. I always read everything, guys. I still do. Baz, you posted like all the hirings. Was it on Reddit? Somebody was like, this game hasn't made any progress. progress. And you're like,
Mm,
here's
yeah.
everybody they hired this year, and it's just even looking at it from my own perspective, it's like, wow, like that's really cool. And all those people that Baz mentioned are just amazing. They're so amazing and like grade A, like so fortunate to work for them. But again, to keep your values, sometimes things are going to take longer. And you have to ask yourself as a fan, we all want, you guys have all seen Joppa speak. Do you not think Joppa wants all of you to play his game, to play this game, to play Pantheon,
he's dying.
to experience?
Yeah.
He is. If there anyone in the community that thinks that they want to play this game more than Joppa wants you to play this game, he wants you to play. We all do. But we want you to play the game that's being promised. And I know I was on the other end not too long ago, 6 months ago. And Therek, we've had our talks. I was really chomping at the bit, and I still am. But it's got to be right. And we're willing to take longer if we have to, so that you guys can get the game that is going to be right. And, however many years you want to say it's been in development, I'll tell you this right now. It has never been in a better place, and the future has never been brighter. 100% hand to God.
Well, it's super obvious, too, that, like, the speed of development post the refactor has just been amazing to behold. I find it hard for anybody, unless they just don't follow. I mean, even if they don't follow it, I find it hard for anybody to look at one recent update from now, even if they only check in once a year, and not say like, "Wow, it's moving along. Like we're getting there." So,
right. And I wanted to say too is like also thank you to the community, because without the pledges and everything that is supporting Pantheon, they wouldn't be in a position to wait. They wouldn't be in a position to turn down all these offers, right? Because they wouldn't have the money to continue. How many MMOs have we seen that keep going, and they just run out of the money, and they have to take the money. Like, they have to take that deal, even though they don't want to, even though it's against their ideals, but they just have to keep, like you said, food on the table. So they have to take that deal, whether they want to or not. And so because of the community that we've built, and because of the pledges that everyone is supporting with, that they can actually turn deals down that go against what they think. And that is so exciting to me. And I love that aspect of it, is that they're in the position that they can turn things down. And that's where you want to be.
Yeah, and I want to throw, I'm sorry, I want real quick, because it's a perfect time for me to throw this in. I want to throw a little FOMO in there, okay? Pre-alpha only happens one time ever for Pantheon, right? And we know that, like, maybe we're getting close to the word we can't say at some point. We know that with the new build, right, and the discussions have been had with the new client, HERP pipeline, networking stack, etc. It's going to be easier for them to do longer sessions, quicker, less time in between, etc. And you only get to play Pantheon in pre-alpha, in a very shorter amount of time in the future, right? And once it's over, that's it. You'll never get to play Pantheon like that and watch it grow organically and see new systems come into play, and just watch the world get bigger, get new places, see mobs get added, all the things that come with development and being a part of it. And it is super magical, man. And most importantly, 10, 15 years down the road, when you get to be like, dude, I've been here since pre-alpha, bro.
Yeah.
You need that clout. You need that clout, baby.
I'm totally doing that.
It's totally true though. Like, I mean, I say this all the time. Like, I get that it's very difficult to be patient just in general. Like, it's hard when you're passionate about something and it's not coming as quickly as you expected. Like, it's difficult. It's difficult to follow a game in development, because especially MMOs, because they're so complicated. It's hard to wrap your head around everything and put all the pieces together. But I've said this before, and I know 100% that those of us who are here now, like further down the line, like we're going to be looking back at this time now, feeling kind of like nostalgic about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, remember back then when like the community was, so small and all this sorts of, remember back when we were pre-alpha testing and the world was so small, and telling all these stories and stuff. Like, it's hard to keep that perspective, but it's 100% true. 100%.
Yeah. And perfectly timed, talking about pledges, talking about community and the need for community and the the support of the community. I was just informed that we are not only going to give away an advisor pledge tonight, we're actually going to give away another pledge. A legat pledge is being donated by one of the community members.
Wow.
That was just messaged to me. So if you're in for the draw for the giveaway tonight for the advisor pledge, we'll do that one first. And if you don't get that, you get a second shot at it for a legat pledge. So breaking community news.
Very cool. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, being the Bendine of this stream, we're pushing an hour 40 here. So we probably should move on to the drawing at least.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's give people another couple minutes. If you want in for the draw at Therek, I'll throw your name in the hat. I've got quite a few names in there already. So
remind everybody how to get in. We get a couple people asking.
Yeah. So just hit me up in chat, in the Twitch chat. Hit me up with your name. Okay. Just like Minus there.
Yeah. At Therek. There you go.
Yes. Minus you're not eligible for the draw. So yeah, but we've got quite a few names in. So okay, so yeah, so Isildur, I got you. And then yeah, see, there we go. Okay, so let me add those names, and you guys will get you.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, like all the what Therek and I do is, so we take all the money that's donated from the rewind, we take all the money that's donated from the Twitch subs, and we are using that to fund these pledges that we give away, right? That's so we don't have to go to our wives and explain why we spent $300 on a Pantheon pledge, right? Exactly. I can't do that, right? That's not good for the
There's
marriage.
a lesson for you.
Yes, that's a good lesson, actually.
So
there's some veterans of the circle here, so
that does not work out well. So this keeps the ball moving forward, and this keeps new people entering the team and the community, and we're super excited that we can do that. So we thank you guys for supporting the YouTube channel, so for supporting all of the content creators here, so that we can give away pledges for these streams. It's super fun.
Absolutely.
They're asking what the map behind me is. That's which version is it? The Pandaria map. It's a big canvas.
Nice. Okay, I think I got everybody's names. So whenever you're ready, Draq, you just say the word and we'll.
All right. So let it be written, so let it be done.
Okay. So like I said, first up is the advisor pledge. This is the big one, $300 alpha access. So I'm throwing the names into the draw now. And the winner is Ninja Willie. Ninja Willie, you have won yourself an advisor pledge.
That is
so
super awesome.
Yeah, so something we haven't mentioned up to this point, how to sort of go about getting that pledge to you. If you're in Discord, just join our Discord. Desrin, if you maybe can throw the link to the Pantheon Plus Discord in the chat so folks can join it, and then just message me on the Discord at Therek2057. You can also email me, Therek@pantheon.plus, and we can connect to get that pledge to you. So that's the first one. Now let's do another one. Actually, hold on. I'm going to post just the thing here. Okay, so that's in chat, so you can just see the name picker there. So yeah, number 2, here we go. Winner is Rufius. Rufius won the Legat pledge.
Legat. Very cool.
Legat. The ongoing debate about the pronunciation, but I'm pretty sure
Legate.
Oh, speaking about that, while we're here, I'm going to clear the air on something.
Uh-oh.
Niche versus niche.
Oh man, I had this debate with my wife actually.
So before we started, Joppa goes, "Hey, how do you say this word?" I'm like, "I don't ever say anything right, Joppa, so let's look it up." So we looked it up, and the proper way to say it is niche.
How weird.
Now, that's for dawn of time. Like recently, like 2010s or something, it started to gain traction to say niche, but it's seen as the modern sort of slur way to say it.
It's a niche community that says niche. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
So just want to clear the air.
Yeah, that was news for me. I learned it from that podcast. I was like, "That's how you say." I think I even sent a message to you, man. It's like, is that really how you say that word?
I'm pretty sure I said it 3 different ways in the video that Therek and I did. I think I pretty much had them all covered. So.
Yeah, I know we did. We kind of went back and forth on it quite a bit.
Niche.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, just pinky up, guys.
Very-
pinky up.
Yeah.
Very French.
Well, yes, niche.
That's funny.
All right. Well, let's kind of wrap this thing up a little bit. Let's go around one more time. Final thoughts. Nathan, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think 2021 was just a massive year for development, right? And I said this recently. Some people didn't. If watching development isn't fun or entertaining to you, then 2021 might have seemed kind of rough. But for everybody that enjoys watching it grow and seeing it become exactly what we wanted it to be and more, I do think 2021 was our most exciting year yet. We had so many revelations and updates and just watching this game grow into its own. And previous years, we had lots of great updates, etc. But it just we didn't feel like we were actually getting closer to the word we can't say as much as this year. Like this year, we really felt like we got to see much more. The communication got better, and we got the roadmaps. I mean, just so much happened that just really kind of opened the door. And I feel like Pantheon was like would crack the door previous years, and it feels like they really kind of opened up the curtain quite a bit this year. Apparently revealed behind the curtain Rob was back there. So I'm just saying, like, it was a good year. I loved it.
Awesome. Bazgrim, final thoughts.
I mean, I really couldn't say it better than that. Like that's pretty much what there is to it. That I really empathize with the people that they just want to get in there and play the game. That it's 100% understandable. If following the development process just isn't interesting to you, like, I get that. It's interesting to me, obviously, and it's funny because Joppa was talking about this in the last stream, kind of the same thing along these lines, where it's like, he's like, I get, like, we're not really into this to like study the intricacies and like the ins and outs of MMO development. And I'm thinking, like, well, speak for yourself, because that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis. But I get that, that those of us who do that are in the minority. And if that's not your thing, I can imagine, it's hard to imagine, but I can imagine that that the whole process has been maybe a little confusing. It's been it's been rough at times, but I think if for those of us who have been paying attention, it really does feel like a corner has been turned, and it's really exciting to watch, because, again, like you were saying earlier, Nate, like, these the developers, they're human beings. Sometimes it takes learning things by mistake, but to watch a small team of just passionate gamers really kind of like find their stride and really get traction and that light at the end of the tunnel getting bigger. It's just really exciting. It's just really, it's fun to watch a story like this unfold.
Very cool. Therek, I hear there's some news. Some breaking
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, more breaking news. So Rufius is asking for a redraw because he doesn't want the Legat pledge. So that was his request. So we're actually going to redraw for that second pledge. So if you didn't win, then you have another shot here. So we're going to just do another one real quick here to hit the button and see what name comes up. And the winner is Iseldir, Iseldir. So I think they were one of the more recent people that put their name in. So yeah, congrats. Iseldir. That is a good pledge to have. That is beta access. So yeah.
Nice.
So again, if you want to connect with me on Discord, Therek2057, or email me Therek@pantheon.plus, and I'll get you connected for that pledge. Yeah, and then just in terms of final thoughts for me, I don't have anything else that somebody else hasn't said. Probably better than I will. I'm just, I'm in the zone here with this stuff. I love what we do with Pantheon Plus. I love working with Draq and Desrin and all the folks that we get to spend time with. I love playing MMORPG Classes 101. I think, Minus, that was one of your brilliant ideas. It's brought us so much closer together as a community. Just playing these crazy MMOs and finding stupid games that we can play in the meantime when the Q monster won't let us play the game we want to play. It's kind of insane, but this is the meta game, in terms of from an MMO standpoint. I look at it as like this is the whole point of this anyway, is just to do stuff like this, and Pantheon's just the canvas that we want to all do this on, right? So in the meantime, we're doing what we're going to be doing anyway. So I love it, and I'm just can't wait to do another year of it with you guys.
Minus, final thoughts.
I also want to give a big shout out. Philip is in Twitch chat there. He's done some amazing work. You guys got to see some of the weapon work he's done.
Yeah.
Whew, buckle in, because more's coming, and it's crazy. So Philip is another one.
That's awesome.
Who, newer to the team, but just pumping out content. Everyone's been afraid content. Build the world, filling it with content. Holy cow, there's some people doing some crazy stuff, and he's unbelievable. Blew my mind when I first saw the weapons that you guys got to see. Wait till you see more. For me, here's the biggest thing I'm going to tell to the community is, it will never leave my mind that without the community and without all of you that are here right now, I would have never gotten this opportunity. I'm not going to get all choked up. I'm not going to cry on stream. But I just want everyone to know that for all those people that supported me, and for all the people that weren't so sure I would be good at doing this, I will continue to do everything I can to be the best I can, to bring the most to the content that I can, and that it's not lost on me to this amazing and rare opportunity. And I just want to say thank you. It'll never be forgotten, to everybody here especially, but also to everybody in chat. And that I'm really excited to keep hopefully impressing you, but also listening to you. So continue to give your feedback, continue to ping me with your thoughts. This is for all of you, and it's my thank you. And let's keep going. Let's keep rocking. 2022 is going to be amazing.
Chat definitely wanted you to cry, just FYI.
I think we started
I've already
taking
done that
bets on
enough
whether
on
you're going to
streams.
cry or not.
I've already done. Man, that last stream we did
that was emotional, man. That was emotional. That was emotional. So what I'm getting is that was the best $200 I ever slid under a table to Ben Dean ever. So glad to see his money well spent.
That's how important pledges are, guys.
And he's fired. We almost made it to the end of the stream. Almost.
Oh wait, we were trying to not get him fired. Oh, I didn't get the memo on that. I thought it was the other way around.
I just want to say, for myself, for final thoughts is, listen, this, I did a VIP pledge. I did a VIP pledge before I was involved with Pantheon Plus in any way, shape, or form. I have just had the VIP pledge, just the act of setting that money aside, and that's my free money, right? That's like my game money. That's my money I'm using to buy Steam games, right? And so I committed a large chunk of that to my pledge of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. And then the reason I did it,
you had to cut back on cash up items, right?
Yes.
Why it took us? That's why we couldn't. That's why I had to take a brief nap in the EQ.
That's less EQ chrono, man. That's less EQ chrono. So, but it has been like for me, it was like the engagement, the act of doing that, the act of putting my money where my mouth was, and pushed me forward to engage with the community. And so, and I'm not saying you need to do a pre-alpha pledge, but do some kind of pledge, because if you're a gamer, you have some kind of gaming budget, right? And so whatever you can do, whatever you can afford, you should do that, because just for myself, it has been so much fun to be engaged with the community. And I know that I wouldn't have done it if I had not like set forth the money to do that, because I know that it would have been just one of those things where I've been like, oh well, I guess I won't do it, dude. I'm never gonna like not do it, because I was invested in this thing, and I love being invested in it, because I knew from the get-go that this was the MMO that I wanted to play. And so I did not regret a single cent of it, and I am so excited for 2022, and I can't wait to see what's in store.
Yeah, and I want to give everybody a piece of advice. This is something that I did, right? When I had to put back the money for Pantheon, the big bucks to get the pledge that I wanted, I just did it. And then when my wife seen it, I said, "Oh, that's an advertising fund that I'm doing for my channel." I'm just saying.
Baz, don't do that, Baz. Don't do that. Don't take that advice. No.
This stream is way too long for my wife to see, so I'm safe.
Yeah, I was like, who are we thinking our wives are going to be watching this?
All right, no, totally.
We can say whatever we want.
All right.
Pretty much.
We don't see Baz for like a month.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really have to be Bendy now, because we're pushing 2 hours. I've got to
Hold on, Draq.
Oh, whoa.
Hold on, Draq. I cannot give this Legat pledge away. It keeps getting returned. It keeps getting punted back to me, so I don't know what's
people
going
are
on.
already supporters, though.
I know,
Does
right?
everybody know that you can actually add to your pledge? Like, you can
now
add,
the first person wants it back.
Yeah, you can add the Legat pledge to your current pledge, and then it bumps you up to whatever the next thing you qualify for.
I'm just following the directions from the recipients. We're gonna roll again, because the last person, Isildir, said that they didn't need it, so we're gonna do it one more time. This is the last time. No take backs. No.
You're gonna get it, and you're gonna like it.
You're gonna love it.
Just slap it on your package. Slap it on the package.
Put
Ready to
another
go.
$150 in, and then you got the advisor pledge.
The winner of the Legat pledge. Final word is Gyranthir, Gyranthir. Congrats. I hope you like it, because it's yours forever.
No returnsies.
Yeah,
no
no
returnsies.
All right, guys. We've talked a little bit about Redbeard Flint tonight, and he's actually streaming right now. So we're going to show him some love, and we're going to rate his channel. So everybody make sure you follow him and say hi. And we have had a bunch of fun tonight. Wave bye to the people.
Been great. Good night, everyone.
Bye,
See ya.
everybody.